unless you have at least a minimal acquaintance with numerology. Because the Bible was not written by people from Pittsburgh. The Bible was written by the ancient Eastern people, and they knew numerology. They dwelled in the numbers of the zodiac. They dwelled in all various numbers that had meanings. Let me give you a quick rundown so you get an idea what I'm talking about. Hidden meanings. The number 1 means God, the Logos. The number 2 means body and soul, you and God. The number 3 means new life, resurrection, a new beginning. Jesus was in the tomb 3 days. Jonah was in the whale 3 days. The number 4 means your fourfold nature: physical, spiritual, intellectual, emotional. Okay? The number 5 means mediation. It also means sacrifice. I'm going to show you that a little later. The number 6 means doctrines, laws, religion. Don't you remember when Jesus turned water into wine? Water can mean on the lower level emotionalism. He turned water into wine. How many jars of water did it say he turned into wine? 6. In other words, he was turning the religion of the letter into that which is the movement and the divine essence of the Spirit. That's what it means, changing water into wine. Number 7 means divine intervention. Joshua walked around Jericho how many times? 7. And the walls came tumbling down. 7 means divine intervention. There are 7 nerve centers, or 7 chakras, that rise from the base of the spine to the top, which are the 7 levels which a person walks in order to find that which is the pineal or enlightenment. It's all part of the Bible. It's all part of the ancient wisdom which is covered up in numbers. That's why a lot of your religious teachers, and you see them on TV, and they make such a terrible mistake. You know what they do? They go and say, well, there's going to be 7 years of tribulation. It doesn't mean that. The number 7 means divine intervention. What that means is when tribulation comes to your life, God will intervene on your behalf. It doesn't mean that God is going to send 7 years of terror. It means that God will intervene when the struggle comes against you. That's what 7 years of tribulation means. Divine intervention is 7. Number 8 means rupture, separation. Number 9 means the human consciousness. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Number 10 means completion. And the number of perfection in Hebrew is 12, which corresponds to the most ancient zodiac. Okay? Let's take a look at the number 9. And I'll show you how you can get all fouled up if you don't understand these numbers. It's just like, you know, you've heard these teachers teaching all the time. It's going to be 7 years of tribulation. It doesn't mean that. If God is love, would he send you 7 years of hell? Like they say? No, it means he will intercede. Look at the number 9. The numerical value to the word Adam in Hebrew in the ancient scriptures is 9. Everything had a numerical value, and that's why there is such mystery in the ancient scriptures, because they used numbers to deceive people who tried to think intellectually. You know what you're doing? You know what we're doing? We're reading the Bible intellectually in the same way as if you and I said, let's go shoot the bull, and then somebody said, oh, they're going out and kill an animal. That's because they read us literally. They didn't read us symbolically. We're not going to go out and kill an animal. We're going to have a conversation. I said to your boy, you really spilled the beans. Well, they said that must be some ritual. They're going to go out and get a broom and sweep up the beans. You're not to sweep up any beans. It just means you talked out of turn. He shot his mouth off. Pow! No, he didn't. It just means he said something he shouldn't have said. He's off the wall. Where's the wall? No, he's not. It means that he's strange. He's different. And you can think of thousands of symbolic verses that you use, and the Bible is filled with them, and yet you take it literally. That's how stupid we are. That's why you've got all of this in this country, in religion and fear and in misunderstanding and in suicides and all of this violence right in the middle of religion, because religion is teaching you literally what was intended to be taken symbolically. Oh, hey, you know yourself. You've read the story of Abraham and Sarah. She was 100 years old or something and had a baby, and you're taking this literally. It's not a literal story at all. It's an allegory. How do I know it? Look up Galatians 4:24. The Apostle Paul says the story of Abraham and Sarah, he says, which things are an allegory. It's a symbolic story. If the Bible says it, can't you even really believe that? Galatians 4:24. But let's take a look at the number 9. The number 9 means Adam. Adam means earth. The earth means your flesh, your mind, your emotions, you know, the ego, the macho, the I will do what I think, and all this kind of business, okay? So when you use that number 9, it starts to reveal a lot of things to you. Okay? If you look in the Bible, you'll see many references to 3.5 or 42 months, 3.5 years, 42 months. That all comes out to 9. Let me show you how. You'll see it as 42 months. You'll see it as 3.5 years. You'll see it as 1,260 days, because 3.5 years is 6 months. Okay, is 3 years and 6 months. That's 42 months. You take 42 times 30, you get 1,260. Okay? Now when you add 1, 2, and 6, you get 9. That's the number of human consciousness. That's the Bible's way of hiding from the literal and the intellectual, spiritual, significant, deep mysteries that come out of the times of Egypt and Chaldea. They deliberately did this to hide from the profane people the powers that are in the inner consciousness, because they didn't want literal people getting a hold of these mysteries and using them for their own good or to raise money the way these evangelists and TV people do. Okay, this isn't for that. This should not cost you a dime. I'll give you a symbol. Tithing. How much money have these people made taking 10% out of your pocket? Tithing has nothing whatsoever to do with money. It's symbolic. It's a hidden and what it means is you have 10% of you that is the carnal mind. 10% of you is the left side, it is the negative side, it is the carnal mind. 90% of you is the right hemisphere, which is dormant. God is saying to you, give me that 10%. Give me your ego. Give me your flesh. Give me your will. Through meditation, shut off the thoughts of the mind. You shut off the 10%, which is you. You turn on the right hemisphere, which is the 90%, which is him. You have tithed. Don't give, no, I'm not going to say, but you shouldn't give anybody 10% of anything. You should give God that 10%, which is you, by shutting off your ego and rising up into a high, beautiful consciousness with God. That's what tithing really means, giving God yourself, the 10%, the negative left side, the carnal, intellectual side. Now let's look at the number 9. Like I said, we were going to look at the number 9. 3.5 months, 3.5 years, 42 months, they all equate to 1,260 days. If you look through the book of Revelation, you'll see all kinds of references to 3.5, 42, 1,260. They all add up to 9. So now when you have that key, that the number 9 means human consciousness, you can solve some riddles. You can solve the identity of the beast. Who is the beast? 666. Okay? Who is 666? This is the way you have to do it if you understand Eastern mysticism that wrote that. You take 6 plus 6 equals 12 plus 6 equals 18. Now you have 1, 8, 1 plus 8 equals 9. The identity of the beast is you and me, our lower carnal mind. It's the beast that rapes. It's the beast that makes wars. All of these horrible things that you read about every day in your newspaper and see every day on your television. And we can look at the beast by going into our bathroom, turning on the light, and there's a picture of the beast right over your sink. It is your lower mind. It is that part of you that threatens you, that part of you that convinces you you're not going to make it past tomorrow, that part of you that says, well, everything's okay now, but what are you going to do if, and what are you going to say when you meet so-and-so next week, and all of this stuff that keeps you rattling and shaking and all of those things within you going nuts. That's the beast. That's hell. What about those who are saved? What about those who are going to heaven? In Revelation 14, it says 144,000. That means an endless number of saved. But look at the number, 144. 1 plus 4 equals 5 plus 4 equals what? 9. 9 means consciousness. The beast is the lower consciousness. Those who are saved are the higher consciousness, the upper room, the mountain experience, meditation. When you lift yourself up above, you come into being that 144 or consciousness in the higher realm. So 9 then means consciousness, and it shows either on the lower level, which is the devil or hell of the carnal mind, on the higher level, which is the divine mind. There's an interesting way you can see how the Bible specifically shoves this in, so you know it's a tip-off from the ancient people that this is talking about consciousness. Jesus comes down and he's talking to the fellas in the boat. I'm exactly sure, I don't know whether it's in John or where, but Jesus says to the fellas in the boat, look, if you want to catch fish, cast your net over to the right side of the boat, okay? He says, if you want to catch fish, cast your net over to the right side of the boat. What Jesus is talking about is not fish. Fish means wisdom. He's not talking about the right side of the boat. He's talking about directing your energy to the right hemisphere of the mind. You do that by turning off the left side in meditation. Now, how do we know? Now that we know that the number 9 means consciousness, how do we know that Jesus is talking about consciousness and not fish? You'll see there in that scripture when Jesus says, cast your net to the right side, you'll see how many fish they caught. They caught 153 fish. Okay? 1 plus 5 plus 3 equals 9. 9 means consciousness. Therefore, Jesus is definitely saying, if you want to be filled with God's wisdom, if you want to be filled with God's understanding, if you want to be filled with God's knowledge of this universe and your place in it, then direct your energies to the right hemisphere. And Jesus told you how to do that, by taking no thought. You must meditate. You must allow your eye to be single. You focus that energy right between your eyes and your forehead, and you focus energy there, and you bring yourself above all of those thoughts which are trying to destroy you. You bring yourself up into the bliss of the heaven which is within you, and then you fill with wisdom, you fill with understanding, and you start to activate the right hemisphere of your brain which has been dormant all of your life. Look,